welcome to this explainer. Look, building, and more importantly, maintaining a flawless brand experience in a commercial space, it's a relentless job. Today, our mission is crystal clear. We're going to dissect exactly why traditional retail wall graphics fail so predictably, and we're revealing the engineered solution that's quietly saving savvy facility managers literally tens of thousands of dollars. We're getting right into the data and the hard science of what actually works on the walls of high-traffic retail. Let's get into it. East Coast mural pros really hit the nail on the head here. High-traffic retail environments demand wall graphics that perform under real-world pressure. And honestly, if you manage these spaces, you already know the battlefield, right? Customers constantly brushing up against surfaces, heavy merchandise carts rolling past and slamming into displays, cleaning crews moving at warp speed with harsh chemical solutions. Add in those seasonal temperature swings, and it is absolute destruction for standard wall graphics. The stakes are incredibly high. A deteriorating wall graphic damages your brand perception instantly, it absolutely skyrockets your maintenance costs, and it pulls your staff away from what actually matters, serving the customers. So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll do a vinyl autopsy. Second, we'll look at the wallpaper maintenance trap. Third, we'll introduce the direct-to-wall solution. Fourth, we'll break down a 5-year cost comparison. And finally, we'll cover fast zero-disruption installation. All right, let's start with Section 1, the vinyl autopsy. Okay, so the core problem here is thermal stress. That's the physical degradation of adhesive bonds caused by cyclical temperature expansion and contraction, especially in environments over 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You see, vinyl expands and contracts with temperature swings. Think about spaces with direct sunlight, big skylights, or fluctuating HVAC patterns. Over a period of months, this constant expansion and contraction physically weakens the adhesive bond that's desperately trying to hold the vinyl to the wall. The edges start lifting, bubbles start forming, and guess what? Those bubbles trap moisture, which only accelerates the whole degradation process. It's a fundamental flaw in the material itself. And the frustrating part? Despite spending good money on professional installation, vinyl falls into this painfully predictable 18-month failure cycle. It usually starts with poor substrate prep, maybe just a little dust or old paint residue left behind. Then you add the thermal stress we just talked about, combined with humidity spikes from your daily cleaning routines. The adhesive weakens, leading to unfixable edge lifting and bubbling. And once that bubbling starts, there's absolutely no coming back. You can't just clean it away. You're completely trapped in a cycle of visual decay that ruins the customer experience and demands a totally disruptive replacement. Vinyl's reliance on adhesive, that is its Achilles heel for sure. Moving right along to Section 2, the wallpaper maintenance trap. Now, wallpaper is a pretty deceptive trap. The promise sounds fantastic, right? A lower upfront cost per square foot, a familiar paste application. It really seems cost-effective at first glance. But the reality? Wallpaper acts just like a giant sponge. It literally absorbs moisture from the air and from routine cleaning. It stains incredibly easily the second it's bumped by a cart or touched by hundreds of hands. The paste-based adhesive inevitably breaks down under all that moisture exposure, which causes the seams to separate. And crucially, during installation, most of these adhesives release volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. That creates real air quality issues in your stores. So yeah, it turns into a massive, hidden maintenance burden. Which brings us to Section 3, the direct-to-wall solution. All right, here is the crucial breakthrough. No vinyl, no adhesive, no seams. If you want to permanently fix this problem, you have to engineer the weakness out of the equation entirely. It's that simple. By completely removing the adhesive, you remove the primary failure point. You don't have this external sheet constantly fighting against the wall anymore. The image actually becomes part of the wall itself. It's a real game changer. Let me walk you through exactly how this engineered process works. This is a highly repeatable scientific method. First, the substrate, whether you're dealing with drywall, concrete, or brick, is rigorously prepared, cleaned, and stabilized. Second, a specialized system applies ultra-fine pigment directly onto the wall in multiple passes, basically building out rich color and detail layer by layer. Third, a high-performance protective top coat gets applied. And finally, step 4, the entire surface is instantly cured with UV light. The result? UV-cured inks that bond at a molecular level directly to your wall. It's structural, it's not superficial. Operationally, this is absolutely massive. Because it's integrated seamlessly into the wall, there are zero edges to catch or peel. The finish is applied as a matte or satin texture, which totally eliminates that cheap, glossy glare you get with vinyl, plus it hides fingerprints perfectly. But honestly, here is the best part for your cleaning crews. It withstands standard commercial degreasers, mild disinfectants, and wet cleaning without ever degrading or bubbling. It resists scuffs from shopping carts. Even after years of aggressive daily cleaning, the colors remain incredibly vibrant. Let's look at the numbers in Section 4, 5-year cost comparison. Let's audit a standard 400 square foot retail wall over a 5-year life cycle. To put this into perspective, vinyl might cost you $2 to $3 grand up front. But by year 2, you're paying for touch-ups. By year 4, it needs full replacement, bringing your true cost to between $4,400 and $6,400. Now, wallpaper has a lower upfront cost, but stains and wear mean 1 or even 2 full refreshes, pushing your true cost up to between $3,600 and $5,400. Direct to wall, it completely changes the math. With no adhesive to fail and a rock-solid top coat, maintenance is just routine cleaning. 0 replacements are required. Your total 5-year cost is locked in at $2,800 to $3,600. It is the undisputed champion of total cost of ownership. Now, let's scale those savings up a bit. When you take this engineered, direct-to-wall solution and apply it across a multi-location footprint, let's say just 10 retail locations over a 10-year period, the math becomes totally undeniable. You aren't just saving pennies here. The savings exceed $30,000. $30,000 saved purely by eliminating the fragile cycle of peeling adhesives and torn wallpaper, all while maintaining perfect brand consistency across every single store. Finally, Section 5. Fast, zero-disruption installation. Under 5 hours. Let that sink in. True experts in the space know that daytime disruption equals lost revenue. Period. Traditional installations take days, they require extended access, and they completely mess with your customer flow. Direct-to-wall technology effectively eliminates this barrier. This entire process happens in a single shift, strictly during off hours. A team can arrive right after closing, complete the substrate prep, print, cure, and finish the wall. Because of that instant UV curing we talked about, your space opens the very next morning fully operational. You've got 0 staff displacement, 0 lingering fumes, and 0 revenue loss. And because these finishes are completely paint-over ready, when your marketing team inevitably decides to change the brand colors next quarter, you can do it overnight without the absolute misery of scraping off layers of old vinyl glue. It is maximum agility for modern retail. So, what does this all mean? It really comes down to this one question. Are you still paying to replace failing vinyl, or are you ready for a permanent brand environment? The data and the science are absolutely clear on this. Relying on adhesive-backed graphics in high-traffic retail is an expensive, frustrating trap. Direct-to-wall printing is the engineered standard that actually stops the bleeding. It's time to stop renting fragile wall space and start investing in durable, dynamic brand environments. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep optimizing your spaces.